Hey guys, welcome back to Cruise Blog. It's Allie, and today we're going to be sharing 16 bad decisions that could ruin your cruise. Let's get into it. When planning the best cruise vacation, there are some things that you will want to do to ensure that nothing goes wrong. While there are some things that are out of your control, like weather, you do not want to make a mistake that will ruin your cruise. Wouldn't it be awful if you returned to the port after a fun day ashore only to realize that your ship departed 30 minutes before? What about if you decided to cram your entire family of 4 in a stateroom to save some money, just to end up tripping over each other and arguing the whole time? So here are 16 bad decisions that can ruin your cruise vacation. Let's get into it. Number 1 is not reading up on prohibited items. Cruise ships have rules regarding what can and can't be brought on board to help make sure that the onboard environment is safe and welcoming to all. While you might be able to bring your steamer with you to the beach resort, you cannot bring it with you on a cruise. If you show up with one on embarkation day, it will be confiscated by the cruise line and held until you disembark. In 2023, a young man was kicked off of Mariner of the Seas while the ship was docked in Jamaica after being caught with medical marijuana. He was escorted through customs and immigration by a security officer, meaning that they were unable to explore Jamaica and were responsible for making arrangements to return to the United States. To ensure that this doesn't happen to you, take a few moments to read up on what is and is not allowed on board. Even if you claim that you were unaware of their policies, you may find yourself instantly kicked off in a foreign country. Number 2 is booking the cheapest cruise you can find. There's nothing wrong with wanting to save some money on your next vacation. However, you want to make sure that you're not booking the cheapest cruise just for the sake of going. Oftentimes, the cheapest sailings are on cruise lines' oldest ships, meaning that it won't have all those bells and whistles that you're probably used to seeing advertised. Do you, for instance, want to sail on board a Carnival ship with a roller coaster? Well, you'll only be able to find this on the 3 newest ships, Mardi Gras, Carnival Celebration, and the soon-to-be-released Carnival Jubilee. Moreover, the cheapest fare is usually not for a balcony cabin. If you dream of waking up and stepping outside onto your personal veranda, you'll most likely have to pay a little bit more for that. Number 3 is forgetting to check your passport's expiration date. Some cruises, such as those that begin and end in the United States, do not require you to have a passport. You're able to set sail with just a birth certificate and government-issued ID. Even so, it's recommended that you always cruise with your passport. If for some reason you were to be stranded in a foreign country or you had a medical emergency, it would simplify your return to the United States or your home country. Moreover, if you're cruising in Europe or an open jaw sailing from Whittier to Vancouver, you'll definitely need one in order to pass through customs and immigration to enter the foreign country either upon embarkation or disembarkation. All of that being said, in order to cruise and travel with a passport, it needs to be valid for at least 6 months after your cruise. If you open your passport to realize that it expires 1 month after, you will be denied boarding. Number 4 is smoking in your cabin or elsewhere on the ship where it's not allowed. While you might be able to smoke on your upcoming cruise, you will only be able to do it in certain areas, such as in the casino or on the starboard side of the top deck. In fact, some cruise lines, like Celebrity Cruises, don't even allow you to smoke in the casino. Another place that you will be unable to light up is in your cabin, even if you have a balcony. If you are caught doing so, a cleaning fee will be charged to your onboard account, and they can often be pretty high charges. If you have not budgeted for this, learning about this charge could ruin your cruise pretty quickly. Number 5 is not putting your phone in airplane mode. Nobody wants to rack up a large roaming bill before your ship sets sail, so make sure that you have your phone in airplane mode, even if you've purchased an internet package. This is the safest way to ensure that your cell phone company doesn't charge you any pesky roaming fees. Speaking of internet packages, if you're looking to save a couple of dollars, consider purchasing Wi-Fi in advance. Some cruise lines like Royal Caribbean offer pre-cruise sales through their planning portal. You might be able to save on a drink package too. Number 6 is forgetting to change your watch to ship's time. Learning ship lingo should be part of your pre-cruise checklist. Not only will this help you navigate the ship like a pro, but you will know that ship time may not always be the same as local time. If you're sailing from Florida to Mexico, for example, your phone might try and connect to the local time, which is 1 hour behind. You don't want to accidentally miss your ship's all aboard time because you thought you had an extra hour to explore Cozumel, and that would surely ruin your vacation. Number 7 is booking a single stateroom instead of 2. It might be tempting to try and save money by booking 1 cabin. You should, however, know that cruise ship staterooms are smaller than the average hotel. You won't find any with 2 double beds, and in fact, some cruise cabins are so small that there's not even a love seat. 3rd and 4th guests are accommodated on Pullman beds or bunk beds that come down from the ceiling. Rather than tripping all over each other, you might want to consider booking 2 staterooms. While this means that you might have to settle for 2 interior rooms versus 1 balcony, you will definitely appreciate having the extra living space and the bathroom, which will help everyone get ready in the morning or for dinner at night and not have to fight over the bathroom. Speaking of staterooms, as ships are sailing closer to full capacity, scoring an upgrade is harder than in the past. If you book an interior room thinking that you might get upgraded to a balcony for less money, you might be left disappointed and stuck in a room that you're unhappy in. Number 8 is skipping the safety drill on embarkation day. On the first day of your cruise, you are required to complete a mandatory safety or muster drill prior to sailing away. The muster drill is important because while emergencies at sea are very rare, completing the drill is meant to familiarize you and your travel party with your assigned assembly station and other protocols. Even if you've cruised before, you will be required to complete it as the assigned location will most likely be different on each sailing. If you fail to show up or you don't complete the virtual muster, your name and stateroom will be given to crew members and they will track you down. Don't try to hide in your stateroom either because that's the first place that they will check. If you miss the initial drill, you may be given a second opportunity to complete it. If, for whatever reason, you fail to attend again, you face getting kicked off the ship without receiving a refund, and in some instances, you may be kicked off before the ship even sets sail. Number 9 is climbing, jumping, or throwing things off the ship. In 2019, a man jumped off of his cruise ship balcony while on Symphony of the Seas, and as a result, he and everyone in his group were banned from Royal Caribbean for life. Not only was this a foolish decision, but it was also extremely dangerous as he could have been seriously harmed. Moreover, cruise lines have environmental responsibility and are working to decrease any negative impact on the marine ecosystem that they operate in. If you choose to throw anything overboard, such as a cigarette butt, you are disturbing the life underneath the sea. It's rather easy to dispose of any trash in one of the bins on board. Per Royal Caribbean's guest policy, sitting, standing, laying, or climbing on, over, or across any exterior or interior railings or other protective barriers or tampering with the ship's equipment, facilities, or systems designed for guest safety is not permitted. If caught, you face getting kicked off the ship. Number 10 is booking a ship without baby splash zones if your children aren't potty trained. Cruises are great vacation options because they are family friendly and offer something for everyone, from relaxed adult-only decks to supervised fun for the kids. If, however, you are traveling with infants who have yet to complete their potty training, you will want to make sure that you're booking a ship that caters to even the youngest of sailors, as they won't be permitted to swim in the regular pools. Number 11 is packing up your entire cabin for the night before disembarkation. On the last night of your cruise, you will be instructed to leave your suitcases outside of your cabin by a certain time. Rather than packing everything, you'll want to make sure that you leave out your pajamas as well as a change of clothes for the next morning and all of your essential toiletries. Otherwise, you might be forced to get off the ship in your dinner outfit, which may not be the most comfortable travel day attire. Moreover, make sure that you don't pack your passport in your suitcase either. While you won't be apart from your luggage for long, you'll want to make sure that you have your important documentation on your person at all times. Number 12 is thinking that you're immune from feeling the effects of seasickness. Motion sickness on a cruise is no joke. The overwhelming feeling of nausea can easily ruin a fun day by forcing you to remain in bed and missing out on relaxing by the pool or checking out the onboard thrills. While cruise ships are usually smooth, rough ocean conditions can turn your vacation from great to bad in a matter of minutes. Thankfully, there are plenty of remedies that help combat the feeling of seasickness, and you'll just need to come prepared. Don't forget to stock up on Bonine or Dramamine. If you're particularly worried, you can even visit a doctor to get a prescription for patches. A single patch lasts up to 3 days and it's easy to apply. Simply place it right behind your ear. Number 13 is not planning your shore excursions ahead of time. Do you have your heart set on doing a certain tour while in port? Do you even know what's offered in each destination? Prior to your cruise vacation, make sure that you take some time to research all of the offerings and book any that you find particularly interesting. Some tours are more likely to sell out than others, and if you wait until the night before you dock to visit the shore excursion desk, you might find that you have very limited options. Nobody wants to tell their child that the activity they were looking forward to was sold out. You don't have to book with a cruise line either. Oftentimes, you can find cheaper tours through third parties, plus you might even find an option that the cruise line doesn't offer. Number 14, selecting the wrong dining preference. There's no denying that one of the best parts of a cruise vacation is the unlimited food. Where else can you indulge in 3-course meals every single night without worrying about racking up a dinner tab? Unless you're sailing on Norwegian Cruise Line or Virgin Voyages, you'll be given an option to select which dining preference you want. First, you will have to decide whether you want a traditional dining option or a flexible one, meaning that you can show up in the main dining room whenever is most convenient for you or make a reservation for a different time each night. If you decide that you want to sit at the same table each evening and have the same waitstaff, then you'll probably want to choose an early or late seating. Note that if you sail on Disney Cruise Line, you won't be able to choose a flexible option as they have rotational dining service. Choosing the wrong dining preference could mean that you're stuck eating much later than you would like or having to wait for an available table. Number 15 is skipping travel insurance. Nobody wants to think about those worst case scenarios happening during their highly anticipated cruise vacation, and while we'd like to believe that it's always smooth sailing as soon as the deposit is placed, unexpected events such as the sudden onset of an illness prior to embarkation or a delayed flight can wreak havoc on your trip. Purchasing cruise travel insurance ensures that you'll be covered if things don't go as planned, like medical emergencies, travel delays, or other unpredictable events. Policy coverage varies from cruise line to cruise line. However, you can expect things like trip interruption protection, baggage protection, medical protection, and emergency evacuation. Number 16 is booking your flight the morning of your ship's scheduled departure. What's the worst way to start your vacation? I would argue that it would be if you completely missed your ship's departure. What would you do if you got to the airport only to learn that your flight to your cruise was delayed or even worse, canceled? Unfortunately, the cruise ship will not wait for you as they run on a very tight schedule in order to make it to each port of call on time. When taking a land-based vacation, it makes sense to schedule your flight as the same day as your hotel reservation, but if you were to arrive the night before, you'd have to book another hotel. With a cruise vacation, however, you cannot arrive and check in whenever it's convenient for you. A flight delay during a land-based vacation might mean getting to your resort later than anticipated, but it's not the end of the world. If you arrive at the terminal too late, you get there just to find out that your cruise ship is gone. To save yourself the ultimate heartbreak, book your flight for the night before and book a hotel close to the airport or terminal. All right, everybody, those are the 16 bad decisions that could ruin your cruise. Comment below if you've ever made any of these mistakes or if you have another mistake you'd like to share. Be sure to like and subscribe to Cruise Blog so you can be notified every time we have a new video. Until next time, happy cruising!